All right. Hey guys, welcome in. I had my lunch. So we have 3, 5, 7, 9, like 11 left. Welcome back, Dave. Good to see you again. So I'm thinking maybe got another maybe 20 minutes to a half hour left on the cutting, and then we'll run over to the lathe. It was a small salad and a hot dog, so I really can't complain. It was good. Yeah, we definitely need to do some grocery shopping for the workshop. I know I think we have like a frozen pizza left. I think that's about it. So my girlfriend just hopped in the car and left. So I'm not sure where she's going. So I do have my saw at a slight angle. And then I add this fan. I got a fan back here. That just blows a little bit of air on me. And, hey Chewy. But now that the fan's here, it's blowing stuff off the table. Have I ever had a mishap on the scroll saw? Not really. I mean, I've cut myself with it, but you know, the scroll saw will make band-aid cuts. So, I mean, I've cut the tip of my finger off on a table saw. I've routed the tip of a different finger. But I think that's about it. But everything grew back, so I'm not complaining. Yeah, that's the picture. Yeah, that's our one of our cats. That's Luna. She used to be way more orange when she was little. She's mainly gray and black calico. She does have some orange on her belly though. I mean, the orange is there; it just doesn't stick out very much. So she was feral. She was a barn cat that never was handled at all. So one of our friends trapped her and then decided that um, they would rather have the ability to travel. So they didn't want her, so we took her. There's no such thing as a free cat. Got her fixed. Haha! 827. Yep. It's the first time I had a blade break in a long time. That's okay. Well, that was the original blade from this morning. And I have a 5-gallon bucket where I'm throwing all my scrap in. And then it gets dumped into a big garbage can, and then I burn it in the winter. Right? Oh, it's not like I haven't broke a lot of blades, in my life. It's just I haven't broken one in a while. With this saw, they usually get to the point of being dull before they break. I don't know if I talked about this earlier, but I went to Woodcraft for the first time in a long time, and Technitool filed for bankruptcy. So that's all the Nova stuff. So all the Nova stuff is gone from Woodcraft. They had some chucks that were on clearance, But it was weird not seeing the lathes and the drill presses and all that stuff. So. It's a little bit crazy. I thought they were too big to fail. So I really like using blue painter's tape. So the purpose behind that is, so I just print out the patterns on normal copy paper, and then we use spray adhesive to glue it to the tape. That way when we're done, we can just peel the tape off. We don't have any residual glue. Now the reason I use blue painter's tape is because it sticks out like a sore thumb. Hello. I'm going to say Castell. It's probably wrong. But let me mispronounce your name. But yeah, so it doesn't leave residual glue when you pull it off, and it helps lubricate the blade as well. Hey Corey, how's it going? Are you having a bad day? So I couldn't help but notice you have Roblox at the end of your name. So I assume you're what, 12? So, other than Corey, how's everybody else doing? Yep, so we're cutting Bacote, beautiful exotic wood from Mexico, just like avocados. She's back. Hello. And how's Mahad doing? Brand name of the machine? Sure. This is a Pegas. P-E-G-A-S. The Pegas 21-inch scroll saw. Yeah, I thought you were going to come back with ice cream. Very disappointed.
Yeah, it is hot outside.
It is hot.
Yes, it is very hot outside.
Yeah. Well, when you first start out on a scroll saw, they tend to have a mind of their own compared to outside, yeah. Do you want to open the basement door? Get some of the coolness up? Yeah, it takes a while to get a feel for the saw, which is why a lot of shops absolutely hate them. Just lots and lots of practice.
75 in here.
It's not bad.
That is not bad at all.
Considering it's 75 in here and it's 82 outside.
I was just saying, the car said 88 in the family. It was 92 when I first got it. driving, so.
Hey, Victor. Hey, hi, how's it going? So we got 4 more of these cut out, then we're gonna go over to the lathe and start making the shaft for them. Carlos, welcome in. Hello, Manish. Hello, Alex. So if you're just joining us, we are making drop spindles. These are Turkish, and they're used for spinning yarn. Hello, I do not even know where to start with any of those. Hi. Davis, hello.
No idea.
I'm working on it. I'm going to the lathe after I'm done cutting these out.
So,
I didn't cut out any of those. The walnut ones are cut out. I just gotta make shafts for them. There we go. Thank you. This is a scroll saw. This is a Pegasus scroll saw. What? Huh. Yeah, my saw is the table is very scratched up on it.
This is amazing.
Thank you.
All these little ones.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea is to have, enough made up where you can just grab what you need, but
Right?
until I get more material, that's not going to happen. Go. Hello. Welcome in. No.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because they're empty.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But I do have a bin over here now as well for them. Hey, how's it going, XRP? So this is the biggest benefit of a scroll saw is the ability to make internal cuts. So you drill a hole, you put the blade through it, clamp it, and then you can cut in the middle. Hello. Sorry, I'm not really up on my Cyrillic. So if you're new to the stream, my name is Scott. I am a full-time spindle maker. This channel here is usually about, currently it's been a lot about scroll saw projects, but I'm going to add some lathe work and some 3D printing, some laser engraving, that sort of stuff eventually. But the live streams are kind of, just me working. So, this is my day job right here. So I've been making these full time for, this is our 11th year. I make a bunch of different shapes and sizes and types. Most of my stuff is usually fiber tool oriented, textile stuff. But yeah, like the videos on this channel are more like, more practical things for, the masses. Hello, Jose. How's it going? We got 2 more to cut out the middles, and then we're out of here. We're going to go over to the lathe and start making a mess. Okay. Adarsh, we are making Turkish drop spindles for spinning yarn. Hey, Joe. Welcome in. All you need is good eyesight and nimble fingers. That's why you have this when your eyesight starts going. Yes. And neuropathy helps too. That way when you cut your fingers, you don't even feel it. It's my secret power. Hi. I'm just going to call you one. Usab? I'm not a nameologist. I guess the secret to life is you need to eat a vegetable once in a while. Castino, welcome in. So we only got one more to do, and then we're going to go over to the lathe, which I think is more exciting because there's wood chips flying everywhere. So right now I'm building up inventory. We've got 3 large shows coming up. They're not till September, October. But these 3 shows are... well, the first one is Wisconsin Sheep and Wool. After that, we're going to be at DFW, which is Dallas-Fort Worth in Texas. And then we're going to be in Sath, which is near Asheville, North Carolina. So we're making drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. So here's an example of one that I've spun some yarn on.
I just put my headphones on, and it just said 2 devices connected.
Really?
My headphones did, yes.
Okay.
And I can still watch.
2 devices connected. Hang on.
I can still watch, and it comes through my...
Is it coming through here? Can you hear things? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're also connected to this computer.
Okay, that's cool. But so what happens if I... Huh.
Let me look. So the girlfriend's connected to 2 devices with their headset.
Now I can't hear you anymore.
I hit mute.
Okay. So...
Yeah, you're connected to the computer. I can see you right here. Your headphones too, home spot. So now you can hear me in 2 different ways.
So I can... Huh?
I unmuted it, so it should be coming through now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna mute that. Sorry, Charles, I beat you to it.
I don't know how that would...
I would love mine to be able to connect to multiple sources, because I could listen to music on my phone and then play on the computer.
But why don't they? Aren't they the same? Where did we get these from?
Amazon.
Amazon?
They're different. Yours are way more comfortable than mine.
They are comfortable.
Yep.
So, maybe, because they were...
Well, it doesn't matter. It's not going to work for streaming, so.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, for whatever.
Right? We're going to be doing some translation here, I think. Let's see. I'm not up on my Turkish, so. All right. So he's talking about how he's Turkish and how people do not appreciate Turkish spindles in Turkey. So we are getting set up here for the lathe. It's gonna take a little doing. Oh, awesome. Oh, that looks like a lathe. Hey, how's it going, P? Pidade? I'm trying. What I say, only what I do. Just getting set up here. It's probably gonna be about another minute, but we're still live. Hey, Kareem and Jubid. I'm trying. All right. I think we're gonna turn some 6-inch shafts to start with, and then I have some top whirls I need to start working on. So this is hard maple. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change it from being a square to make it into a cylinder. Masa, how's it going? Not real up on my Korean. Hang on a second. Good morning. Good morning. Yasha, how's it going? So we're going to start out with a roughing gouge. Actually, I'm going to grab my apron real quick. All right. So I do have a specific diameter I need. So let's get down to that diameter. Got a question. So we are making spindles, and also konnichiwa, watashi wa anata no mune ga suki desu. That's all I know. So we're making spindles. And I honestly don't know what your boobs look like, but you know, I try. Hello. Yeah, I don't know either. You open up translation. Hello, Agent 77. Hey, Van, how's it going? So this is hard maple, which leads into the question, is there such thing as soft maple? Yes, there is. So soft maple would be more of your like sugar maple or your silver maple. Which is great for making syrup. Sand this one up. There we go. Ready for sanding. Yeah, this is paste wax. So yeah, I just put a little paste wax coating on there. The majority of this is going to be used to spin yarn out of wool. So the wool, the lanolin will help moisturize that. Hello, Clodmere. Doesn't sound right. I try. Alright, so I used my roughing gouge to make it into a cylinder. Now I'm going to be using this wrench as a caliper. As long as the wrench slides over, I know I'm on size. Grandpa, hello. So this is known as a story stick. So I have lines cut through, and I made this cutout so I can slide up against my test whirl. That way I could just transfer the lines over and make it much quicker, and they'll all be the same. Alright, now we're going to burn in some decorative lines. I just got some wire with handles on it. It's basically a garrote. So I'm just going to hold the wire down and let it burn the wood. Turn the speed down, now we're going to start sanding. Start with a medium grit, then a fine grit. Now we're going to take the lathe and turn it back up to full speed. We're going to gather up some wood chips. We're going to hold them against the shaft here and burnish. Add a little wax. Alright, so we did as much as we could with it between centers. It's clamped on that side. This side has a pin in it. It's a live center, so it has a bearing and it's just spinning in circles. So I'm going to form the finial on the top. You see it's running nice and true, and it's just being clamped in on the back. And then go through the same process. So now it's ready to be cut off. I'm going to support it with my hand. I know it's hard to see. But I'm basically just paring it off. There we go. So this will get sanded in the next step. There we go. That's ready for sanding and finishing. Alright, I do have some other things I'm going to be turning on the lathe in a little bit, but I want to get like maybe 10 of these done. CNC. I mean, if you want to buy me one, I'll take it. I mean, I'm not that way. Hello, Antonio. How's it going? Yes, how's it going? We are making Turkish drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. So we are turning the shafts for those right now. I was just cutting out some of these arms on the scroll saw right before I came over here. You work on a CNC lathe in Brazil? Very nice. Hey, thank you, Saul. This is paste wax. It's just a little protectant. Okay, I'm in Wisconsin. I'm in North Fond du Lac, and the current time is 2:37 p.m. It's 82 degrees. Partly cloudy. I think 2 days ago it was like in the 50s. So I'm not complaining. Hello! Yeah. This is my work watch. I have a newer one. It's 4 a.m. in Brazil. Four p.m. I got it. Which would make more sense. Alright, Dave said, I always thought about making a single paper click out of an entire oak tree. What are your thoughts? You know, I think what you should do is make a toothpick. You know, take a whole log and then just bring it down to like one toothpick. Indian? You make thermoplastic injection molds? Sweet. Yes, Michelle, it's very early tomorrow where you are. Which I don't understand why we just don't buy, like, lottery tickets from you in the future and come here. We could be rich. So, Falk has lived in Canada for 15 plus years, but your mother is from Fond du Lac. Oh yeah, small world. Hello, how's Hung doing? Inject car bumpers, washing machine 10-ton molds. Oh, the big ones. Nice. Hello, Roland. In Hawaii. Must be nice. A little confusing. I don't know if you're saying hello or goodbye. Yeah, real big stuff. Yeah, prior to me doing this, I worked at Oshkosh Truck as an assembler. So I put big vehicles together. And before that, I worked at Quad Graphics, which is a bindery, and we made magazines. I was a machine operator for quite a few years there. So yeah, I spent a little over 18 years in factories. I think that was long enough. You're not missing much. Trying to think. Hello, why? Jesus, how's it going? I'm trying to think. Brazil, is that Spanish or Portuguese? Portuguese. I thought so, Jesus. Well, actually, with the picture, I guess it's Jesus. Yeah. Portuguese, yeah. I know zero Portuguese. Hey Jackson, how's it going? Yep, so that's ready for sanding. We're making yarn. It's like magic. We are living in the future, I tell you. So there's hippopotamuses running around wild in Brazil. That'll work. We're going to burnish. How many units per day? It depends. Usually 20 to 30. See if I can get it a little bit higher for you. Is that better? Sorry, I gotta do some adjusting here. It's just kicking my butt today. Come on. There we go. Okay, that's the coat. Hey, Benny. All right, I'm gonna go hand these to Vicky. She's sanding. Awesome. We are making drop spindles for spinning yarn. Yep, so spindles came before spinning wheels. So I am ordering, I got some stuff on order to include Vicky. There we go. So yeah, I'm working on trying to get the whole streaming computer going again. One of the pieces of software that I use for the audio does not work with my computer anymore. So I'm trying to find a way around that. So Vicky's watching TV and playing on her phone. But she also has a monitor, so. Yeah. Smooth. I'm more likely to get a splinter cutting this wood down into this shape than I am on the lathe. Yep. Gloves are your enemy with machinery. My name is Scott. A very typical white guy name. A lot of people forget my name and they call me Steve. I guess that's an even more common white guy name. Carl? Hello, Solomon. Welcome in. Carl? There you go. There you go. Tom, Dick, and Harry. Your name is it Hygor? Hello, Pokemon. Yeah, gloves are bad, rings are bad. You know, the watch is bad, but it's got a silicone band, so that's going to tear off before anything. That's the only exception, but I don't wear any rings. No long sleeves, no neckties. So this is a wood lathe. Metal lathes are very torquey because they are used to machine metal. Hey, I appreciate it, Nick. So this thing would stop, where a metal lathe would not. That'd be a good idea. And I do realize that there's a lot of touching here. We are making drop spindles, Christopher. So you spin yarn with these. I can do a demo if anybody's interested. If you'd like to see me spin, just type the number 1 into the chat. I am perfectly safe. All right, we'll finish this one up, and then I'll go grab one that's sanded. All right, we'll do a little spinning. And that'll work because I want to start making some top whirl spindles, so it's going to be a different. Slightly different setup. Right now we're at max speed, so 3,500 RPM. So the lathe says it's 3,564 RPMs. All right, let me go grab a spindle and some yarn, and I'll be right back. We'll spy on Vicky. And Marilyn Monroe. All right, so we're starting out. This is roving. This is black-faced meat sheep that they gave the sheep a haircut. They washed it, and then they carded or combed it so all the hairs are facing the same direction. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's amazing having a shop. After working out of the house for a decade, it's nice to get out here. Okay. So I'm making a leader. So now it's on the spindle, now we can spin. So I'm going to spin the spindle with my hands. I'm separating the fibers. I'm defining how thick the yarn is and how much twist is going into it. This wood lathe was right around $1,000. I mean, you could get cheaper ones. Alright, so we made a length of yarn. Now we're going to store it on the spindle. So I'm going to go over 2 arms under one and repeat that pattern over and over again. Come up. I'm going to put a 1/2 inch in to hold it. Yep, so this lathe is a Laguna Revo 1216. So it's their midi size lathe. So there's the really small ones, you know, there's like watchmaker lathes. But as far as wood lathes go, there's a mini lathe, like a pen lathe, then a medium, and then a full size. It's one of those things that take a little practice to learn how to do, as far as spinning goes. But once you get the hang of it, it is zen. Hello, welcome in. And then you just keep repeating that. You're storing the yarn on the spindle. And the Turkish spindles are cool because when you're done, you can pull the shaft out, the arms come apart, and then you can remove the ball. So that's what we're making today. We're making these. Oh. Yep, so this is a single. So it's one single. Now most of the time when you think of yarn, you think of applied yarn. Hey, thanks. So I'm going to make a very large, like, crochet loop. And come back up. So now we got 3 that we're going to apply together. Now if you look, if it would focus, so now it's much thicker and much stronger. So the next step would be to wet set it. You would get it wet and let it kind of full. And then yeah, you got yarn. Alright, I'm going to go grab some top whirls. They're just right over there. We can be super nosy. We can watch me walk over and grab them. Is it right there? Yeah, a lot of people are so spinning tends to, you start out as a crocheter or a knitter, and then you want more control and you want better fiber. So fiber arts is a very deep rabbit hole. Alright, so these are top whirls. Hello! So that they're this direction rather than being in that direction. So these actually have a hook on the top. So I'm drilling a hole for the hook. And I want to round this over. All right, now we're going to core this. So this batch that I'm making here is going to Iceland. So I was vending at a festival, and somebody comes up to me. They were having a spindle class to learn how to use these. And somebody went to Iceland and came home with an Icelandic spindle that they were showing off. Well, that spindle was this one. So somebody had to break it to them that you got that in Iceland. That's great. The guy who's selling them, you know, this is in North Carolina, is right over there if you want to go talk to him. Where in North Carolina it would have been Fletcher, so it was at Saf, so near Asheville. Yeah, we do 2 shows in North Carolina. We do Saf, like near Asheville, and we also do Carolina Fiber Fest, which is in Raleigh. So this is what they start out as. Now this is after the turning operation. So definitely much nicer. And then we still have the shafts to turn and sand the bottom. They're similar to the others, except for they're I'll show you. I'm just taking one of the ones we just turned, just putting a hook in there. Now the shaft needs to be turned, and but yeah, so the yarn hangs off that. So this hasn't been sanded or balanced or anything. So you spin the spindle. Same thing with the hands. The spindle's just spinning. And then you store the yarn on the shaft. Trying to keep it in the camera somewhat. You get the idea. So it's definitely just a preference thing. So I've been making these full time for 11 years. But I've been a woodworker for as long as I can remember. So I'm sanding with medium grit in one direction, spinning it the opposite direction, and then going to a fine grit in both directions as well. So these whirls are made from Baltic birch plywood. And the reason for that is every ply, the grain is running in the opposite direction, so it's much stronger. If I was to make this out of hardwood, and if you would drop it, it would split along the grain. But since the grain is running back and forth, these things are not going to do anything. So I put the spacer on and then this piece of tubing. The spacer brings it out so I can work on the front and the back at one time. Hey Ricardo, how's it going? Ah, mirrored. Alright. I forgot to put the hook in that one. Drill the hole. So these will actually get stained. So I got 3 different colors that I could stain these. So we have 12 of these to make. Yep, so typically they're either a gun stock, which is an orange color, or mahogany, which is a dark brown color. I also do a golden pecan, which is just a little bit more yellowish than this. But then when that's dried, I do put a glaze on them. So they're shiny. So the reason I'm using a 40 grit chisel is because with all these teeth, if you come in there, you can actually kind of gouge and break stuff out. So that's why we're using the sandpaper. Now, this is carbide, so it's got this little cutting head. When it gets dull, you can spin it around and get more use out of it. I don't use carbide a whole hell of a lot, but for this application, it works really well. Hey Rando, we are making drop spindles for spinning yarn. So, do I do much yarn work? I do. I do spin quite a bit of yarn. Yep, I do knit and crochet as well. I'm more of a spinner at heart. Hey Shake, how's it going? Yeah, if you're making a tool, it's probably a good idea to learn how to use it. Yeah, I used to actually submit my yarn to be judged at festivals. But I haven't done it in a few years. So Vicky, my girlfriend, actually did put one of her skeins in for competition, and she actually took best of show. What's the tool you use before the hole? Oh. So, this just has a screw sticking in the center of it. So the diameter of the shaft is a little bit smaller. So I set this in there and it marks the center of the... There's a screw. Just marks the center. And then I can take the drill with my fancy drill bit holder. So I made this when I first started, and this was a test, and if it worked, I would have made something better. Well, the problem was it worked, so I never found the necessity to make a new one. Hey, Carl. So these whirls, I used to cut them out by hand on the scroll saw. But now I cut them out on a laser engraver. The laser engraver does a little bit of a better job than I could by hand. Alright, I got 5 more to go, and then we'll start turning the shafts. Well, I'm still going to be doing this over and over and over again for the next hour, so I think your cheeking happened. Unless you're just waiting for me to get hurt. guess you can almost see it. Actually, let's go make a cup of coffee. I don't think I have any tea here. Where's my coffee cup? Oh, it's right here. And of course, the coffee maker's not plugged in. Taking my phone over to the kettle, yeah. I'm pretty close. Okay. Well, what the heck? Oh, I'm plugging in the toaster. That's not going to help me. Blue light. No. Scott versus a coffee machine. Oh, it's not. Oh, who unplugged everything? Aha! There. So I actually messed up these cups, so that's backwards, which is great if I'm, hang on. See, it's not backwards if you're, using the front camera. So yeah, I do a bunch of sublimation. I make a bunch of like coffee cups and stuff. So the ones I mess up, I keep. Alright. Oh yeah, so this is the front of the shop. It's very messy right now. So this area here is actually 10 feet by 10 feet. So that's the size of our actual single display at shows. But right now it's pretty much just a catch-all. Pickle Rick. So as far as selling stuff goes, this rack here is all for Etsy. And this rack is for Shopify. So we have two different inventories because life's not complicated enough. Get it plugged in. Right. So I set a timer, so in 3 minutes I'll go get my coffee. Hello! Zerono? Zerona. Yeah, regardless, hello. Zerona? Roro? There is an extra O in there. You're Heisenberg. Hey Joseph, we are making drop spindles that are used for spinning yarn. Do you have seen one piece? Are you asking if I have one done that you can look at? This one's slightly different. It's got a cat on it. That's what we're making. It is 3:36 p.m. here in Wisconsin. So we're in America. We're in Wisconsin. Three more of these to go. Hey, Mark. Mac. I was doing good until the Cyrillic kicked in. Right, I'm gonna go grab my coffee. We'll spy on Vicky while we're gone. We'll be Vicky spies. in England, very nice. My chisels are.
Hello. Not sure if you guys can hear me or not. I don't know right now. What show is he talking about? On the chat.
Well, they're talking about some anime.
Oh.
Yeah, it is in the 80s. It's 82 degrees here.
It's 83, you said?
82.
Yeah, it's a lot warmer outside than it is in here.
Yeah, in here I think it's like 70, 74. Eagle River. You're from India? Very nice. There, we got two more after this. You make wands? Very nice. Wands are great spindle work. Which is pretty much what we're doing here today. Once we get these whirls done. After we get the one more done. Thank you. Man, we've both been coughing and sneezing like crazy. I heard ya. Autocorrect kills me. Nah, I can't blame it on the dust. I wish I could. Alright, we're gonna set up to turn the shafts now. I don't know, man. This year's just been kind of wacky as far as not feeling well. Seems like I'm running a fever on and off all the time. Alright, now for these, I've actually made a live center especially for this size. So rather than having a point, it's got a cavity. I'm going to mark the bottom. And I'm going to do a shearing cut just to clean up the bottom there. A little. So that cleans up any glue that was stuck there residually. And then we're going to taper the shaft. We're just going to sand it out. So this is birch, the shaft. Spinning nice. I'm happy with that. We'll put a hook on it. So these get cup hooks. I used to bend my own, but these are the inexpensive ones. Now rather than trying to screw that on by hand, I just have this little piece of doweling. Set that in. So I think for the video for this week, I'm going to make a video about 3D printed things around the workshop. That make my life easier. Hey Q, how's it going? Yep, the classic gear spindle. Thanks, Dave. You get a replacement Ashford E-spinner from New Zealand? What act up on it? The motor? The pancake motor? Yeah. They'll fix you up. Yeah, the only Ashford I have is an Elizabeth. So I've got one of those big princess wheels, the Saxony wheels. I don't have it here. That's the only wheel that's not in the shop. You have a Matracraft? Very nice. Which one? I kind of have a love affair for the Matracraft Rose. That's just me. Apparently, the Suzy Pro. Nice. So you like stuff made in New Zealand? know it's hard to see, but here's some of my wheels. Yeah. I've got the electric eel wheels. Well, I got the Nano, but I got the 6.0. I usually bring that with me if I want to make a lot of yarn. Yeah, they definitely do not give them away. The last show we did, the people next to us were selling Magicraft wheels. No, let me rephrase that. They were trying to sell Magicraft wheels. They're nice. They're just very expensive. Is it strong and sturdy, the 3D printed ones? Well, the electric eel wheel is actually, it's injected molding. It's not 3D printed, it's molded. But yeah, I 3D print a bunch of bobbins, never had issues with them. Oh, the newer ones are? Yeah, they're using particle board for their drive wheels for like the Kiwi and stuff too. Hello, welcome in. You have dents in it, yeah. These are made out of plywood, Baltic birch plywood, just to make them, strong. These are right around an ounce. I do have some 3D printed whirls that are heavier. Yeah. It's a relatively large whirl. So, yeah, they're not very heavy for their size. Yep, right around that region. Between 28 and, 20 to 31, yeah, right around there. So this one's 1.2. Never used a top drop spindle? They spin fine. I don't mind them. I'm more of a Turkish guy myself. Here's one that I have laying around. I like to look at wood chips in it. I have to work on my coffee too. Here, I want to show you the spindles that need to be sanded yet. So this is what's coming up for the next shows and for the websites. Paduke with maple on the outside. You hand me a small Turkish spindle? Oh yeah. We got a bunch. Do I enjoy fairs? I do. You know, I wear a kilt. And I get to spin the whole weekend. Yeah, I'm looking at trying to get into more smaller shows that are more local. You know, driving 18 hours to get to a show is kind of, There's just so many expenses. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, the two kilts I have are both real, like, thick cotton. I need to get some lighter ones. And you know what's under your kilt, right? That's correct, socks. You definitely have to respect the tradition. Nope, just socks. That's all that's under my kilt. Yeah, I tell people, you know, if a lot of times you get like, you know, 3 or 4 girls that are at the show together, and one gets, you know, dared to ask me, you know, are you serious? I'm like, well, if you want to check, I'm not going to stop you. You're going to be disappointed, but I'm not going to stop you. I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Well, kilts are like, just imagine, you know, how you feel when you throw a towel on. It's like that, except for you're in public. And nobody's calling you Bellini. Oh, that was the Kids in the Hall reference. Yeah, I do enjoy vending at festivals. It's a lot of work, but we've been doing it for, over a decade now. So everything's kind of getting to be old hat. Oh, I bet. And you can tell the local guys are because, you don't have to be a detective. It isn't hard. Oh, damn lines. I think the dog gives it away more than anything else. The seeing eye dog. Oh, that's how you find a blind guy on a nude beach. Thanks, I appreciate it. Ooh, Star Trek Online? Nice. Ah, we're getting there. I think we got 3, 4. Looks like we got 6 left after this, so we're halfway done. So half of these are going to Iceland. Oh, I wish I played the bagpipes. Yep, going to Iceland. Yep, so these are going to they own a kind of a bunch of cabins that you can rent out. No. These are just going to a store in Iceland. The lady rents out cabins, and she has her own fiber studio and kind of a store, so they're going in the store. Actually, a couple years ago, a couple of my friends went to Iceland and they actually delivered them to her. But yeah, they're I don't see them going to Iceland. So lots of tomatoes from what I heard. I'm not sure. Apparently most of Europe's tomatoes come from Iceland. They use volcanic springs to heat the nurseries, I guess. I told a story about a while ago. You probably weren't here. You haven't here too, right? Right. Yeah, so I was at a show. I don't remember what show it was. I think it was North Carolina. I think it was SAP. And one of the teachers came up. She's like, "Yeah, this lady said She went to Iceland and she bought this Icelandic drop spindle. She was showing it to everybody. And it was one of these. And somebody had to tell her that, yeah, you bought it in Iceland, but it was made in America, and the person who made it is like right there. Watercolors and LED lights, yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny. Oh, the spindles are going to Iceland. I am not. These are going to go on an airplane all by themselves. Alright, this one's a little chewed up. So I'm gonna re-sand it. Yeah, I am not a globetrotter, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. That would have been good. I bet, well, everything's got to be pretty much imported, right? Except for tomatoes. And horse poop. I don't know. Yikes. How many hours does it take the ferry to get there? Crazy. Oh yeah. That makes sense. Oh, it's not a big deal. I was just wondering. Hello! Alright, we're down to 4 more of these. I don't know if you've noticed, but these are not my favorite thing to make. Been to the North Cape with RV. Sweet! I like the Turkish because they're my favorite to use. You know, the whirls, I cut them on the swirl saw, so I get to sit on the swirl saw for a while and relax. So I kind of have to go through the inventory and see which ones we need to make it. So anything Icelandic and you're good. Hey Albert, how's it going? Hey Marcelino? Almost like Lord of the Rings. It makes sense. It looks like a place where you'd be going to destroy a ring. Hey Mimo, how's it going? The country's motto. Yeah, it's kind of silly, but I went to college in Upper Michigan, and the college I went to was actually a Finnish college. It was Suomi College when I went there, and then they changed their name to Finlandia University, and they just closed forever. I think the last term was their last one. Yes, they are full of sampo, right? Sisu? So the reason it's a Finnish college, in Upper Michigan where I went to college, they discovered copper like hundreds of years ago. And Upper Michigan, the winters are pretty harsh. But if you're from Finland, it's another day in the park. So there was a lot of people who immigrated to work in the copper mines, because to them it was nothing. So if you want a pasty, it's a place to go. I mean, there was a lot of different nationalities that showed up, but the Finns kind of took over. Yeah. So that was way up in the Keweenaw Peninsula. So Upper Michigan, let's say my hand's Upper Michigan, you know, it's way up in this peninsula here. So it's surrounded by Lake Superior. So there's a ton of lake effect snow. Oh my God. So I looked up the city. I wanted to see what's going on with the college. And apparently in the cafeteria there is now going to be a sushi restaurant opening there. There you go. What's this process? We are making drop spindles. These are top whirls. These are used to spin yarn. Yeah, Lake Superior can be pretty nasty as far as the weather goes. Just ask Gordon Lightfoot. He wrote a song about the Edmund Fitzgerald that it's a big iron ore ship that disappeared in the 70s. Took him a long time to find it. I made the mistake of skinny dipping in Lake Superior when I was in college. definitely not something you want to do if you want to pick up girls. No, that water is cold. Holy cow. What do I do with the bits I cut off? I burn them. We've got a fireplace, and yeah, in the winter we burn these as scrap. This little stuff makes good kindling. And then all the wood chips and everything that goes in there, I'm going to be compressing into bricks and burn those in the winter as well. Shrimp weather, exactly. Haha, this is the last one. Praise be. So yeah, so the next step would be to stain these. And then when the stain's dry, I'll put a glaze on the top, and then I will weigh them and then write the weight on the bottom of these. I'm going to throw these on the table, and then we'll start turning some shafts for Turkish spindles, because I have no life. Yeah, when I first started making them, I used to sell them with or without a finish in hopes that people would paint them or decorate them themselves. But most people just save the extra, you know, I think it was a $5 difference. They'd save the $5 and just leave them natural. Or beeswax, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll do 6 inch. Should really do 12 inch. 10 inch. Sorry guys, decisions. I'm gonna put the other tool rest back on. Do I spin pure silk too? If I'm spinning silk, it tends to be blended with something else. feel bad for those silkworms, man. Spend all that time to turn into moss without mouse and mate and then die. All right. Uno momento, por favor. Using technology. It defaulted to Chinese, I don't think. I would like to meet all of you that would open in Spanish. Let's see, you Spindle silk. That's from coffins that have hatched first. Thank you for getting the stuff that hatched first. So if you're not familiar, you know, silk, they make their little chrysalises. And if you want it all to be one piece, you don't let it hatch and you boil them alive. Which is such a bummer. So I'm glad that you let them hatch first. Yeah. Yeah, the cocoons. Yep. Chrysalis. So I think the scientific word, but yeah, they look like little. The last show I went to, one of the buildings where they're doing classes, they had a silk reel set up there, but, you know, it was just sitting there. Oh yeah, they're processing silk. You know, at shows and stuff, I'm in buildings before they open, and then I'm working the entire time of the show, so I miss out on a lot. Yeah, yeah. There's several different ways to get it, but yeah, some people pluck on them. But you've seen what female rabbits do to make their nest, right? They pluck their whole bottoms. you know, there's a general misunderstanding about wool. Basically, you give them a haircut. Oh, I don't think he said anything offensive. Right? It does sound like you're from Europe if you don't care. Oh boy, I'm kidding. Between you and me, I would rather be in Europe right now. Alright, there's an 8-inch shaft. Well, even though our president took it away, I would like to wish you a happy Pride Month. Yeah, that's true. We'll see. Yeah, I've got some big open walls that I need to put some flags up or put some banners or something up. Let's see, you're not social nor physical enough to parade in fluorescent things, you know, wings on the street. There's plenty of people doing that in a thong. You don't need to. Hello. I'm just gonna say hi, Raj. Does that work? Well, you know, as long as you know, add a pair of shafts, you'll be fine. But they have to be leather. See, now they can be dual purpose. Hopefully not to the glue factory. I am scared of horses. When I was little, like 6 or 7, I was riding a horse that decided it would like to roll over and kick me off. And since then, I love horses. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful. But yeah, I'm not comfortable around them. That kind of makes sense. You used to ride the horse to school? That's awesome. Probably a good decision. We would say pull, but yeah. Hey, Raphael. We do have Amish, not right here, but around us there are a bunch of Amish people. So it's not unusual to see a horse and buggy going down the road. Yeah, that's pretty much my relationship. Yeah. Hey Mary, how's it going? Welcome in. Today we're working on some Turkish spindles now. We got about 15 minutes left in the stream, which is amazing. Thanks guys for hanging out with me. Yeah, I decided at a young age I would never be a farrier. We are making drop spindles that are used for spinning yarn. And hi Jake and hi Jim, welcome in. This piece is not very square, but we're gonna try it. So we are turning hard maple. I'm going to back it off and see how it's spinning. Looks good. What's the coolest thing I've made? I don't even know. So, I used to make a lot of scroll saw signs, wooden signs with stuff on. And somebody had me make them giant letters. It said, this was back in the 2008-ish time frame. So that's a live, laugh, love was all the rage. So they wanted these huge signs. I did make some similar live, laugh, love signs for some therapy offices, but that's here or there. They had me make one that said live, laugh, and sodomy. With these huge letters. It was amazing. Kind of made me chuckle. I've also was hello Ramiro, how's it going? Let's think. Some lady was getting married and her fiance really liked the movie Bad Santa, so she had me make a large wooden pickle for her. For him. Which I thought was hilarious. That was to get off my lawn signs, right? I made quite a few. I want to say 40 or 50. Big, not big, but like 8-inch tall, like 2-inch thick wooden ampersands. I made those for Nike, the shoe people. Apparently they were having some family day celebration, and they wanted to have these wooden ampersands for kids to paint and decorate, so I made a bunch of those for them. I used to make name signs for a high school. The graduating people in the music department got wooden name plaques. I made that probably about 5 years. I used to make, signs that said eat and bacon. I made a lot of bacon signs. And Food Network magazine had a bacon issue way back in the day. And my sign was in that magazine. Hey, thanks, Jake. Have a great day, too. Thank you for subscribing. I'm just getting right back into making videos now. I put up a video a couple days ago. I've been super busy and kind of got sucked into the whole political thing. So my business, the Spindles, my #1 international customer used to be Canada, but I don't know why. Canadians are really pissed off at us. I couldn't imagine why. So if you're Canadian, elbows up. We got you. So my international sales pretty much plummeted. Hey Larry, how's it going? And the price of things, hopefully things will settle down. It's pretty painful being a small business owner right now. I mean, we're doing okay, we're doing great. But so how's Larry doing today? Pretty good. Awesome to hear. Unfortunately, he came in right towards the end of the stream. I got like 6 minutes left. But we should be able to get another shaft or two made. So we are making... My local sales are okay. But I used to sell a lot internationally, and that's pretty much dried up. So we're making drop spindles for making yarn. Yep, so we're starting with square stock. It's hard maple. So we're going to change it into a cylinder. this year I do want to make a bunch of holiday products, whether it be Christmas tree, ornament stands, Merry Christmas signs, what have you. And I plan on making videos about making these products. I'm going to design them all and then share the patterns with everybody, or put them on Etsy for $1 or something. And then try to get into some local holiday markets. Hi, Larry again. Edgar, how's it going? I mean, do I ever get wood splinters on this process? No. But yeah, if I'm cutting, when I'm cutting this down into the shape or working with rough wood, occasionally you get splinters. But I'm not touching this until it's already a cylinder. It doesn't have any edges. Like if I was working with, let's say, like Wenge, I wouldn't be touching it at all. That stuff is just... Sometimes you get wood and it's very splintery. And for some reason, if it gets splinters with Wenge, it gets infected. Like, you look at it, you got an infection. So, I don't use Wenge very much. Hello! Well, guys, we are at the end of the stream. I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with me. We got through another day. Yeah. But the good news is we got some stuff done. What the what? Who shot who in the what now? There you go. Alright guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the follows, likes, and the, all that stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. And we'll see you then. Have a great day, guys. And remember to spin fast so you can die warm. Have a good one.